Would you like some more information if you can't read it all now? If you can't read everything now? Yeah? Thank you for being so open-minded. The Earth is not spinning.
Can you tell me more about this?
Yeah, sure. I found this out while researching a different subject. That was like 2.5 years ago. And I saw a video called The Biggest Lie of All. And basically, the chap there just basically said, we don't live on a ball. And I chuckled at first and I was like, that's ridiculous, man. And by the time that the video had finished, I realized to myself that he clearly knew more than I knew. And I had a lot of research to do.
I mean, this screws our entire concept of existence,
I know. This is the reason why they taught it to us at such a young age. We couldn't think critically like we do now.
But when we look at the moon,
right?
The moon is round. No, it's a sphere.
Is it now? So do you believe that they've landed on the moon? Okay, so once you start digging into that one, you'll notice the flag was waving, the intersecting shadows, but then there's more things that start to just not make sense, like the backdrop looked like a film studio. It was filmed in a studio. It wasn't real.
Yeah, no, I'm open to that concept.
Yeah. And so the main reason why they lied about the moon landing, it wasn't, oh, so they could beat Russia, because really in a race, what happens? The first person crosses the line, does the second person and the third person be like, oh, I give up now, and run back to the start, to the start?
Yeah.
No, you finish your race.
Yeah.
So what happened was, Russia were in front of America at faking everything, telling their people we have Sputnik up there, we have this up there and the other. So America needed to pull something out of, for lack of better terms.
Yeah.
So what they done was they got Stanley Kubrick and they faked the moon landings. And the whole point of this was to prove that we lived on a ball. So why would they lie to us just to trick us into thinking that we live on a ball? There's many.
I don't know. I mean, I kind of think about
there's many reasons.
The way that the cosmos is structured and the natural shapes that occur within nature and formation, and I'm thinking about from a molecular level.
Everything's circles.
Everything's circles.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. What we're saying is that the Earth is not a ball, but it is circular. So if you can see there before they roll it up, it's a circular map. The north is in the middle. That's the North Pole, and therefore
that's the way that we've been. Maps have been designed.
Yeah, all maps are wrong. Even the flat Earth.
I get that.
Yeah, even the flat Earth maps are wrong. But if you can take this into consideration, the Antarctic Treaty was designed. It was signed by, funny enough, all these countries that you see here.
Yeah.
And so it is. After all the research we've done, we seem to believe that circular map. If you could picture that here, right now, like a circular world, this walls would be the Antarctic walls. Keeping, obviously, it's a bit higher. And you fill that up with water, that's what we're talking about. That we literally live within this confined. There's continents and stuff, and when you fly a plane, obviously you've been on a plane, right? You take off, the pilot then gets to cruising altitude and he levels off. He's got an artificial horizon. And before we carry on, don't believe a single word I'm saying, because I'm a stranger, I could be telling you anything. Research this for yourself. You know, so you fly level until you get to the country where you need to land, and then you come down. At no point do you account for curvature flying around this spherical ball. And people in Australia, they say down under. That's ridiculous. Water has to be contained. Liquids have to be contained. This is how they work. You know, they're contained and it's flat.
Gravity contains them.
Gravity is a Freemasonic theory. Before this whole idea of gravity came along, what was there? Or did no one realize what was going on until Newton said, that apple means gravity? No. Before this Freemasonic lie came about, people understood density and buoyancy. Things fall to the air because they're heavier than the medium, which is the air,
Yeah.
they're traveling through,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
But they've twisted it in such a way that you can, most people.
Sorry, to what end?
Okay, this is one of probably the biggest questions. Why would they lie? My question is, why would they tell you the truth? You know, they lie about everything. You know, they've lied to us about Syria, Afghanistan. They lied about all of those things.
Yeah.
Why would they tell you the truth? Why, if you could go back to this, if you could picture continents and land and all that, that's where we live. What's out here? Do you see what I'm saying? We think, from all the research we've looked at, looking into history, looking at ancient cultures, they believe that it was round, and it looks like there's more land out there. So if you could just picture that,
Wouldn't surprise me.
yeah, you know.
Wouldn't surprise me one little bit.
Yeah. So when they say why, well, apart from the land, apart from the mind control, you're removing intelligent design, and I'm not religious in any way,
No,
but I create small-scale replicas of anything. I could take Big Ben and miniaturize it, and that's what I do. Never has any of my pieces of work created itself. No matter how much time it is given, it needs an intelligent designer and creator. Me. I create these models. And when I look at this earth and the way nature works, the way a man and a woman can come together and create a child, that's amazing. That's a miracle. That's not evolution or the universe farted and then things started to form, and that's ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. It's a cute fairy tale, but it's not real. Same as Father Christmas, same as the Tooth Fairy. That's why they taught us these things when we were way too young to comprehend. You know, and we looked at the adults who were meant to know better, our teachers, our parents, the TV, everyone is saying that's where we live. So we just accept it. We just go with the flow, because
I do believe that there are anarchists within the scientific community who would do something about this, this lack of knowledge, this disparity about people at the top what they know and people at the bottom what they don't know.
Yeah.
But I think there are anarchists in the top system who would be prepared to risk.
I'd like to hope that's the case, but I see it as they would lose their funding.
Yeah,
they would
they
be
might get
stricken.
shot.
There you go. Have you heard of what is his name? Professor David Nutt. He used to be the health advisor for the government, as it goes. They asked him to write up a paper on drugs, and he done it. He published it, and he ended up saying that coffee and all that stuff is more deadlier than cigarettes. He was fired. So using him as an example, standing up to tell the truth, you're stricken down, you've lost your job, you've been discredited, you're not going to get a job anywhere else, you're an idiot. He's lost everything for the truth. So I can't see someone like, I think Neil deGrasse Tyson is an actor, personally. Bill Nye as well. They're not real scientists. What's the English version? Brian Cox, he's a ketamine addict. You are not real scientists. You are just speakers that were placed before us who are very charismatic.
Who could also be being duped.
Yeah, possibly, but
but when we look at
I'm not the smartest person in the world, but in 2.5 years, 3 years, I discovered the Earth is flat, and we've got so much proof to back it up. Time zones, flight paths, you name it, seasons, everything is answered way better on the flat Earth than it is on the heliocentric model. Did you know that apparently when it's our summer, the Earth is furthest away from the sun, and when it's our winter, we're closer to the sun? That makes no sense, right? But on a flat Earth, you realize that they're making concentric circles around us. When it's our summer, it does its tightest circle around, and that's why we get more daylight. And when it's our winter, and Australia have their winter, the sun is doing its furthest path, so we get less sunlight, we get less heat. It just makes sense, you know? So I must thank you for standing here and listening. By any chance, can I give you 2 videos? I find these to be the best 2 videos on the subject. And thank you again for listening. It was really refreshing to speak to someone so open-minded. What was your name?
Laurie.
Ruben. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. See ya.